discipline your thoughts. Stop thinking too much. Don't go into the past. Don't go into the future. Be in the present. Why? Because only then it's possible that the mind is free, the capacity is free, and now you can completely immerse into whatever you are doing. And this means you have arrived. You have arrived. That's it.
I'm the best ever. There's no one that can match me. I'm the most brutal and vicious and most ruthless champion there's ever been.
They're gonna fear me. You have to be the champion before you become the champion, so that means lifestyle. You have to be him before you become him. You gotta be him before you become him. That's how it starts. You look at somebody, I wanna be like him. You don't say, hey, I'm a bad motherfucker. I wanna fight everybody out here, nobody's gonna kick my ass. You see somebody and say, hey, I might wanna do that.
Well, greatness is when you make your delusions your reality. Nothing's impossible for somebody who's gonna try. If you're gonna try, it's capable of being done.
But you'd fight Tyson Fury.
Yeah, I'll fight a lion if the price is right. My whole objective is your total surrender, your total domination. I'm gonna destroy you.
That's why Rogan said when he watched you, you were intimidating. Your rage is a very unique rage.
Well, that's their fault to be intimidated. How you gonna let somebody scare you for something you worked for?
I respect a person who's willing to die for what he truly wants. Ali had the will to win like nobody that ever lived in boxing. Then he believed he projected to his opponent. Really look at how does Ali beat George Foreman? How does Ali beat Sonny Liston? How do you beat these guys? How did he even beat Joe Frazier? Fighting the way he fights. He beat them because he refused to lose.
But we have to believe that we're divine and that we learn from our experience, because confidence breeds success and success breeds confidence. They go hand in hand. You have to know who you are first. You know who you are. I know who I am. People say they're great all the time, you're this, you're that. Whatever they say, I know who I am. Without self-love, you're nothing. Because self-love is discipline. And discipline is doing what you hate to do, but do it like you love it.
I never wanted to be obscure. I was born in obscurity and I never wanted to deal with that again. I'm invincible, I'm a savage, I'm ferocious. I'm the smartest savage. I knew I wasn't gonna die before I became champ. When this is over, everybody's gonna know my name.
Did you ever fight somebody that you were like, that they got you? Was there ever a kid that got you or no?
Absolutely. In order to be good, you have to lose it and understand loss. Because loss is life. Adversity make the strong stronger or the weak weaker.
11, 12, 13, what happens next? So
Get arrested, and I see Muhammad Ali. He comes and visits the institution that I'm in.
You said you're in jail and Ali shows up?
I'm 12 years old, and Ali comes there, and they showed the movie The Greatest first, so this is 77. And after the movie's over, the lights come over, and Ali comes in, and I see him, I wow, I want to be just like him. I don't know how it happened, the spirit hit me, boom, I want to be like him. And then I get transferred to this other facility, you know, for real bad kids. I met a gentleman there that was a boxer, and he used to teach me how to box. So he took me to a great trainer named Customado, and that's why I'm here.
I respected Ali and I worshiped Ali. Yeah, this is the moment I knew I wanted to be a fighter.
Unfreaking believable story. So your inspiration happened at 12 years old.
Yeah.
Then you meet Cus.
Yes.
How was Cus treating you? What was his way of leading you?
It's a degree of just peeling all that dirt and stuff, that insecurity, and developing into character. And that's why I had a wonderful time with him, because everything about his life was about me. This world is one big school, and we're the students of this world. The mind is always hungry. The mind wants to do good, but we get so many negative thoughts in our mind, it's almost overwhelming to be positive. Listen, I've been down and up, broken up, and why am I still here? Because life is going to give everybody a bad hand. No one's going to leave here without being tried in life.
So inspiration. So is that what got you to be willing to be disciplined to get what you want, like to become a champion? At 14 years old, I'm willing to do everything it takes to be a champion?
Absolutely. And then I had Cuss over there telling me why should he have it? That's one thing I never had in my life, because I always got picked on, and I never had jealousy or enviness about anything. And Cuss possessed that, and he was telling me, why should he have all that money and you don't? Why do you believe that he's better than you? Why do you think he should have all that money and you don't? And he was really serious about it. And that was the competition shit. That's it right there, breathing that stuff right in me. Why should he have it and he's not better than you?
How did you handle that when he told you that, 14? Would it piss you off? Were you like, I'm gonna go train to whoop his ass?
No,
to get there one day, what was your response to it?
He said one day, this guy knew how to really get in my head. He said, man, you're fighting good, but I wish you were bigger. He said, I wish you were like Kenny Norton, Mike Weaver, because they had big bodies and they could intimidate somebody. And that hurt my feelings. I make sure the whole world would be afraid of me.
He trained me to be totally ferocious in the ring and out.
Yeah, and that's what I was. That's what I was, yeah.
Push yourself more. You push yourself when sometimes you have to submit to yourself.
I'm doing everything. And first thing in the morning, 3 in the morning, do your 4 miles, come back in.
3 in the morning?
Yeah. Do your 4 miles, come back in, do your body exercise and all that stuff. After that, I go downstairs, eat breakfast, go to the school, come back from school, eat mine. Then I go back to the gym at 6 o'clock, train, come back at 8 o'clock, watch fights, start all over again. Everybody here is gonna fight for what they love for. Even if they never had a fist fight in their life, they're gonna fight. Listen, once I'm involved in something, I wanna know the beginning of it. I wanna know where it came from, how it was started, who's the first guy that invented it. That's just how my mind works.
How could you guys even dare fight me? How dare you even think that you could beat me?
While I'm in the dressing room, 5 minutes before I come out, my gloves are laced up. I'm breaking my gloves down. I'm pushing the lever at the back of my glove, breaking the middle of the glove so my knuckle could pierce through the leather. I feel my knuckle piercing against the tight leather gloves on the Everlast boxing glove. When I come out, I have supreme confidence, and I'm scared to death. I'm totally afraid. I'm afraid of everything. I'm afraid of losing. I'm afraid of being humiliated. But I'm totally confident. The closer I get to the ring, the more confidence I get. The closer, the more confidence I get. The closer, the more confidence I get. All during my training, I've been afraid of this man. I thought this man might be capable of beating me. I've dreamed of him beating me. But I always stayed afraid of him. But as closer I get to the ring, I'm more confident. Once I'm in the ring, I'm a god. No one could beat me. I walk around the ring, but I never take my eyes off my opponent. I keep my eyes on him, even if he's ready and pumping. He can't wait to get his hands on me as well. I keep my eyes on him, I keep my eyes on him, I keep my eyes on him. Then once I see a chink in his armor, boom, and one of his eyes may move, and then I know I have him. Then when he comes to the center of the ring, he still looks at me with his piercing look, and as if he's not afraid. But he already made that mistake when he looked down for that 1/10 of a second. I know I had him. He'll fight hard for the first 2 or 3 rounds, but I know I already broke his spirit. During the fight, I'm supremely confident. I'm moving my head, he's throwing punches. I'm making him miss and I'm countering. I'm hitting him to the body, I'm punching real hard. And I'm punching and I know he's not able to take my punches. 1, 2, 3 punches. I'm throwing him punches and bunches. He goes down, he's out. I'm victorious. Mike Tyson, greatest fighter that ever lived. I don't care how good you are in anything. You don't have discipline, you ain't nobody.
Right.
You're nothing without discipline. Because you give up under the slightest struggle without discipline.
100%.
I mean, discipline is doing what you hate to do, but do it like you love it.
Doing what you hate to do, but do it like you love it. That is a great quote.
I know you're gonna have to do almost everything alone up here, but you know I'll be with you. You're the one. You're the one that's gonna keep his spirit alive. You're the one. Now you're gonna have to go through hell. Worse than any nightmare that you ever dreamed. But in the end, I know you'll be the one standing.
Somewhere along the line, you changed. You stopped being you. You let people stick a finger in your face and tell you you're no good. And when things got hard, you started looking for something to blame. Let me tell you something you already know. The world ain't all sunshine and rainbows. It's a very mean and nasty place, and I don't care how tough you are, it will beat you to your knees and keep you there permanently if you let it. You, me, or nobody is gonna hit as hard as life. But it ain't about how hard you hit. It's about how hard you can get hit and keep moving forward. How much you can take and keep moving forward. That's how winning is done. Now, if you know what you're worth, now go out and get what you're worth. But you gotta be willing to take the hits. And not pointing fingers saying you ain't where you wanna be because of him or her or anybody. Cowards do that, and that ain't you. You're better than that. It's your right to listen to your gut. It ain't nobody's right to say no. After you earn the right to be where you want to be and do what you want to do. What's the matter with you? There is no tomorrow. There is no tomorrow. There is no tomorrow.
I've lost my mind doing this game, yeah? Like Vincent van Gogh. He dedicated his life to his art and lost his mind in the process. That's happened to me. But fuck it. When that gold belt was around my waist, when my mother has a big mansion, when my girlfriend has a different car for every day of the week, when my kids have everything they ever want, then it will pay. Then I'm happy I lost my mind. Yeah.
You cannot fully commit to something if you are not passionate about it. So you must look at your surroundings, at the things you are involved in, and ask yourself, are you truly passionate about these things? That you truly want to put every ounce of your being into these things? And I am blessed, truly blessed by something. I am not sure what it is, but I am blessed that I was able to find my passions, these avenues that the fight game has opened up for me. I'm going down them at 100 miles an hour with no brakes and full confidence in what lies ahead, and great things are happening. So I'm very, very blessed and very motivated still. I have gone through times in my young career of lapses in motivation and seeking that energy, but you know, I'm not supposed to be here. Where I come from, it's like I said, it's on my whiskey proper number 12. I come from a place, Dublin 12. It is a hard-working town, a small little suburb. It has its good and it has plenty of bad, but I always like to focus on the good because the good shines through. Where I come from, we're not supposed to climb to these heights. We're told that. It's instilled in us. And I wanted to break that mold and pave the way, open up paths. Driving on them towards them building sites, and I'm just a young kid, first year apprentice plumber on a building site. They're the guy that goes to make the tea. They're the guy that goes and gets the copper pipes from the storehouse and carries it up. It's the hard work that's not respected and not admired. I was on them building sites cold and damp, and I was like looking around at fully qualified people on the site and their postures not right. That was not me. You know, I knew I could do something better. I knew I had something in me. I was training for the fight game, but no one in Ireland had made it in the fight game. An Irishman in the UFC was literally, and I mean literally, laughed at. We were laughed at when I said we were going to get to the UFC. Myself and my team were going to get to the UFC. Never mind get a win. Never mind even get a win in the UFC. Then win a belt. Then win the second belt. You know, I've just used all that fuel that I'm not supposed to do it, but I'm going to do it, and I'm going to outwork everyone that says I cannot do it. And that's what I did, and that's how I rose up, and long may it continue. So my sister, when I was a young kid at around 15 years of age, unsure where I was going, came to me with a book, The Secret, and preaching the law of attraction. I wasn't interested. I was almost laughing at it. But then she kept on me with it, and I eventually watched a movie on it and read some books on it. And then it started to resonate with me, like to keep positive and have belief in where you're going. And you're able to, you can almost visually create your entire world. No, not almost, you actually can. I'm going to do that, and I will do that. And then that's when I began to practice it. I practice it. I used to drive, my girlfriend used to drive to a food place in like a shopping mall in Ireland, and it was a very busy shopping mall. And I would practice like little parts of it, like when we were driving into the shopping mall, the car park, I would always visualize that the car park space right at the front door would be empty for me, waiting for us to pull up. And sometimes I'd get it and sometimes I wouldn't get it. You know, but when I got it, I celebrated like I just won my double world title. You know, and I kept building on that, and I got better at it, and I became so damn good at it that I was able to go into bouts against undefeated fighters with insane fighting legacies, and I was able to go in front of the world and tell the world, I'm going to knock this man out with this exact shot at this exact time, and I done it back to back to back.
It awakened a person inside of me to excel, to compete, to excel, to be one of the best or be the best. That drove me. And I guess with that shot, it kind of ignited a fire inside of me that nothing was going to stop.
My biggest motivation in life, you know, is to compete, you know, find different competitions in certain things in life and try to overcome that, you know, be it positive or negative. But I have yet to meet someone who is as competitive as me.
I've missed more than 9,000 shots in my career. I've lost almost 300 games. 26 times I've been trusted to take the game-winning shot and missed. I've failed over and over and over again in my life. And that is why I succeed. Maybe I led you to believe it was easy when it wasn't. Maybe I made you think my highlights started at the free throw line and not in the gym. Maybe I made you think that every shot I took was a game winner. That my game was built on flash and not fire. Maybe it's my fault that you didn't see that failure gave me strength, that my pain was my motivation. Maybe I led you to believe that basketball was a God-given gift and not something I worked for every single day of my life. Maybe I destroyed the game. Or maybe you're just making excuses.
Shit out here in this world. Oh, discipline, wake up early, take a cold shower, fuck this, fuck that, whatever. It's all fucking bullshit. It's not. But what they don't teach you within the cookie cutter is like our minds are like a fucking garage. And the garage, if you open a garage that's all cluttered up, it's all fucked up, you can't put your car in there. You got fucking boats and you got fucking kids' toys and shit everywhere. But if you organize that fucking garage and you put everything in its rightful spot, you can put that car in there, you can put 2 cars in there, you can put bikes in there. And that's like with the mind. People talk about discipline and fucking determination and fucking, repetitions and all this shit. Consistency. Why people fall off the wagon so often is because their mind is full of shit. There's no room in that mind for discipline. There's no room for consistency. They may do it once or twice, but then the mind takes over and that cluttered fucking garage comes in, and then it's like a circuit breaker, man. A circuit breaker just overloads and it fucking sparks. And our minds, that's our mind, man. It's like a fucking circuit breaker that has so much shit in it, you keep on loading it, you can't put any more into it. So I talk about it in there, man, so much about clearing space in your fucking mind so that you have room for all those discipline, waking up early, taking those, because they do mean something. But we don't get to that fucking dark matter that is keeping you from clearing out that mental garage.
That's a good way to put it, because that is the mind of most people, is filled with stuff that they have to move around to get to what they want, and it's constantly piling up and shit, unorganized. And
organized mind, man. You're looking at this fucking, I gotta take care of the kids schedule's all fucked up, my husband, my wife, I'm going by McDonald's to get this, and I'm rushing my schedule. Everything's just fucked.
I wish I was doing this, but I'm doing that.
That's it.
And that and this. I want a raise, but I can't get one.
That's it.
My boss is an asshole.
Where's greatness in that, man? You can't fit discipline in that. You can't fit structure. You can't fit.
So you wake up on a morning, it's cold, it's wet, it's dark, you've got no cartilage in your knee, you've got shitty shorts, whatever it is that's the issue today.
Keep talking.
You've got these problems, right?
I need you to keep talking about what you were just saying.
It's warm on the couch.
That's
Your
it.
missus says stay in bed.
That's
It's comfy. It's cozy. You've got work later on. You had an argument last night. You're slightly hungover.
God, I know every motherfucker ain't gonna do what I'm gonna do.
See, I was visualizing before I even knew about it. Obviously, soccer is huge in Ireland and the UK, and it was my first love, most certainly. I used to sneak out of the house late at night, and there used to be a little grass patch by my home, and I'd take the football out and play on the grass patch on my own, and I would kick the ball against the wall. And when I kicked the ball against the wall, I would imagine it was a goal, and I scored a goal, and I would run off, and I would visualize a screaming arena cheering me on. And they were my first visions of selling out arenas and doing these type of things. Although it didn't end up in the football game, I ended up in a similar one. So it all worked out, and it was all true visualization. So I was just saying, who am I? I know who I am. I am an Irish animal, a proper Irish animal. My career is a career I've never been done before. No Irish man has done what I have done. I opened up pathways for my people. We came steaming through the door, thanks to my belief and my hard work. I put my people on, I put my nation on the map. Although we are known as the Fighting Irish, in boxing terms, we have a rich history in boxing, but not in mixed martial arts. True fighting, a full fight. We had zero history, zero impact. We were almost looked down upon. The UK scene had risen up. There was many stars. Of course, the Brazilians, they invented the sport, Vale Tudo, no holds barred fighting. Then the Americans took it, franchised it into the UFC, and built it up to what it was. So the Americans and the Brazilians dominated the sport, and then the UK was rising up, and the Irish were just the Irish. But I knew different. No more. Exactly. Now my nation's flag is on the UFC belt. They released a new belt. I won the 2 belts, the first to ever done it, the first to ever, and still the only to ever do it, unified. For so long, like in my mid to late 20s, when I started to acquire wealth and acquire money, I was fascinated with materialistic things. I would buy myself cars, watches, but I switched off of that now. It's like I realized I was spending things on material items and not things on myself, on my being, on my fitness, on my health. I've switched that completely. Ali was one of my first heroes in combat sport. I watched documentaries on him, I read books on him, but even before I engaged in combat sport, I was interested in like the wrestling side of things, which is a lot more show. And then obviously Muhammad Ali was a different animal because he was doing it for real. Wrestling's not really for real, it's, you know what I mean? But Muhammad Ali was doing it for real, and he was captivating the audience, he was entertaining, and he had passion and conviction. And I was just a young kid watching this, and then what got me into combat sport originally was as I grew older and began venturing outside my home and outside my estate. Again, like I said, Dublin 12, it's a wild out town. You've got to be able to fight. You've got to be able to defend yourself. So when I ventured out, conflict began happening, and I wanted to be prepared for that and be able for that. You know, that's false toughness. The tough guy doesn't last in this in the real game. You know what I mean? That's false. I look at the tough guys back then. Where are they now? They're not tough no more. They ain't tough in their mother's box room. You know what I'm saying? So I was not necessarily a tough growing up, but I was a hard worker, and I was smart. That's what I was. And wits beat toughness any day of the week, and twice on Sunday. So I knew what I needed to do. I needed to learn combat sport. I needed to learn martial arts, gain confidence in surroundings, and then rise up. And that's what I done. Coming up, I look at, it's not trash talk to me, although it has in a way become that. I look at the opponent. I look, you know yourself to know others. That's a Bruce Lee quote. If you truly know yourself, you can know others. So I know what way I feel. I know what way that man feels. I know what I can say to push his buttons. I know what he's thinking. I know what he's afraid of. I know his worries, and I put them under the spotlight. I put them out there. I get them thinking about it. I made a Jose Aldo an undefeated champion. He was 28 years of age at the time. I made him feel like he was an old man. But he was 28 years of age. I went in, I told him what shot I was going to knock him out, and I knocked him out with that shot. So it's all psychological, to be honest. You've got to be able to control your breathing and control your emotions in there. Again, like I said, sometimes I've been up and down on it. Sometimes I've riled up too much to it, and I'm only young, Tony, you know, I'm still learning the game. And I don't claim to know it all. But what I do know, I know it damn well, you know, and I'm continuing to learn and continuing to push on. And that's where I'm at now, so. More external doubt. I love it. Give it to me. Give me all that doubt. Tell me I can't do something. Tell me I'm not gonna cross over and make that jump into a completely new sport. Not only against some random guy, against the damn best. I'm very confident now, and my engine is keep building. As long as I keep on it and try and not slip and keep motivated. I think like your lack of commitment is almost an insult to the people who believe in you, and that's what I'm trying to tell myself. I said, there's people who believe in me, so this is what I'm telling myself right now, today. There's people that believe in me, and me having this half commitment, it's not what the fuck I am. It's not what my people. It's not what the people who believe in me deserve. And I want to give back to the people who believe in me and give them that belief, you know, and prove that belief correct. So that's where we're at now, and let's see where it goes. Let's. Yep. I have seen a man die in this game. I was ringside. I cornered a man. I am humble in victory or defeat, no matter what. It's a sport at the end of the day, a gruesome sport, but it's a sport. So I respected. I was defeated on the night. All in is a term I like to use in my ventures. All in. We've got to be all in on our ventures. I am all in on my whiskey. I'm all in on my clothing, my fitness regime, the McGregor Fast program. I am all in on the fight game. I just want my worth, you know. There's a lot of politics in the game. The fight game is full of sharks, but I'm the fucking whale. It's hard work. That's it. Hard fucking work. You put it in, you believe in it, you will succeed. And that's it. I am living proof. If you want to look at a man who has clawed his way, fought with every ounce of his being to get to where he is, you're looking at him right here. You know, my family is a great family. I have a loving family, my mother, my father, my two sisters. But my lineage, the McGregor lineage, we are bled on the battlefield. You can trace my lineage back to the Highlands, where we fought invaders off of our land with our family sword, the claymore. It's wrapped in sheepskin, and I have it hanging on the banisters of my stairs, just to remind me of where I come from and who I am. We are warriors. We are fighters.
He says, imagine you're on your deathbed, and standing around your deathbed are the ghosts representing your unfulfilled potential. The ghost of the ideas you never acted on, ghost of the talents you didn't use. And they're standing around your bed, angry, disappointed, and upset. They say, we came to you because you could have brought us to life, they say. And now we have to go to the grave together. So I ask you today, how many ghosts are going to be around your bed when your time comes?
I would encourage everyone to play football for the simple reason that it is hard. It's hard when you're young to wake up in the off season at 6 a.m. to go train and work out, knowing that all your friends are sleeping in and eating pancakes. It's hard when you're on your way to practice, way down with all your gear, and it's 90 degrees out and all the other kids are at the pool or at the beach, and your body is already completely exhausted from workouts in 2 days. It's hard to throw, catch, block, and tackle, and hit kids when they're way bigger and way more developed than you, only to go home that night bruised and battered and strained, but knowing you have to show up again the next day for just the chance to try again. But understand this, life is hard. No matter who you are, there are bumps and hits and bruises along the way. And my advice is to prepare yourself, because football lessons teach us that success and achievement come from overcoming adversity, and that team accomplishment far exceeds anyone's individual goals. To be successful at anything, the truth is you don't have to be special. You just have to be what most people aren't. Consistent, determined, and willing to work for it. No shortcuts. If you look at all my teammates here tonight, it would be impossible to find better examples of men.
Don't think about nothing else. That's it, I'm just curiously fascinated with it, and I can't stop thinking about it. Everything I do in my life is related to this. I don't do nothing else if it's not got to do with fighting, you know what I mean? And that is why, you know what I mean? To be true,
is that nearly...
all you've got to do is show up.
Is that not unhealthy?
I don't know. Do I look unhealthy? Take a look at this physique. I'm in phenomenal shape, in body and mind. To me, what's unhealthy is living an unhealthy life. To me, what's unhealthy is getting up and going through the same day, every day of your life, 9 to 5, in an office or in a, you know what I mean? That's unhealthy. That beats your mind. I don't work. I love what I do, and that's why I'm doing what I love. You know what I mean? That's why it's become a career for me, because I love it. I love what I do. So I don't think it's unhealthy. I feel good in my mind. You know what I mean? It's my life.
Stripping that all back to start your career, a man with a dream, you know, training in the gym day in, day out. If somebody said to you, you'll have, or you'll be as successful as you are now, what would you had said back then?
I believe you. That's what I would have said. Because I did believe.
Yeah,
I believed in it. I had very few people who told me that. I had a small group of people that would tell me something like that. Other than that, it was just me telling myself.
Yep.
So if someone came up to me and told me that all the way back then, I'd say, you're damn right. Knocked them out, I picked around John. Yeah, I said this, I'm sure you are probably all thinking in your head, this guy is talking absolute dribble. He's not gonna do what he says he's gonna do. You are probably all sitting there thinking that. But now here we are again, and I done what I said I was gonna do. I feed off this, I love this stuff. This is what gives me energy. Saying I'm gonna do something, putting it out there for the world to see, and then going out and doing it. There's no better feeling in the world than that, and it's as easy as that. Say what you're gonna do, and go and do it. I'm not gonna stare at it. You stare at your past, and you'll end up staying there. It's okay to look back and admire it, but you carry on. I'm not in the business of staring back at it. You know what I mean? And getting lost back there. People say a loss can make or break a fighter, but trust me, a win can also make or break a fighter, because they get comfortable with a win. People can get comfortable with a win, and slack off then. Slack off on the training, slack off on the diet. They've won one. They're winners now.
That's not me, you know. You sleep on a win and you'll wake up with a loss. So I just carry on, keep doing what I'm doing. And that's why this turnaround is so good for me. Vegas, straight away. The Fighting Irish head to the fighting capital. It's perfect. Continue on this path, the freight train straight to the top. You're chasing your dream, and when you're working hard, chasing something you love and completely dedicated, it just happens. You can't really notice it. You know, even still to this day, I'm in an amazing position in my life, but I'm still working like I'm not. I'm still working like I'm not in this position.
Absolutely.
I'm still working like none of this is even. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's just something I love to do, and I just keep pushing. I keep working hard. I can't pinpoint an exact moment for you, but
yep.
If anything, I always felt like it was happening way back then, and now it is happening. But now I almost feel like it's not happening. You know what I mean? And I want to push to something else.
Absolutely.
I'm always striving to push forward. So every gym I went to, they had that set way. Every gym had that set way of doing things. Don't do it this way, do it that way. So that was just a normal thing that I thought people just have their own set way, and you must do it that way. You must stand this way, you must kick this way, you must punch this way. But with John, when I went to John, and I met my coach John Cabinet at Straight Blast Gym, it wasn't like that. He had a more open mind, and he encouraged different movements. And I'd never experienced that before. I'd never heard a coach say that to me before. And that stuck in my head, and I thought to myself, you know, this guy is thinking outside the box, you know what I mean? That he has a vision that everything works, and he encourages every movement, because ultimately there is a time and a place for every single move. So I just knew when I met John, and when he spoke, it made complete sense to me, and that was it. I stuck with him, and he stuck with me. And
I've been listening to laughter all my career.
Yeah.
I've been listening to them laugh my whole career. They've been laughing. What? An Irishman win a Cage Warriors world title? Hell no. You serious? An Irishman? An Irishman win a fight in the UFC? Hell no. Laughs all around. Okay, you gotta win. Now he wants to win a world title? Hell no, he's all talk, he's all hype, he's a joke. Laughter all around at the Joker. Then the Joker goes and wins the world title. Now he wants to win a second world title. More laughter. Listen, I don't know, mate, the sound of laughter and the sound of doubt motivates me. So I'm enjoying that. I seek that. I don't feel no doubt or I don't feel that going and fighting any of these other UFC bums right now. They need to rise up. Right now they're down there. I've got this situation where people are truly doubting me, like they doubted me at the very, very beginning. And that's motivating for me. That's what's going to drive me to the gym when I need to go to the gym and to put in that work to get that win. So that's where we're at right now.
You're looking at the current king, Ariel. You're interviewing the current king. The current king is here. July 10th, the current king will be there, 145 pounds. July 11th, the current king will be there, raising gold. So I don't care. It's the McGregor show. Let's be honest. It would be great to have it with all the work they put in, but I cannot force an individual if they are afraid. If an individual is afraid to fight, you cannot force him. So it is what it is. If he's running, if he's scared, there's nothing I can do. I'd probably, sometimes I look in the mirror and get little frights as well looking at myself, because I am an absolute animal, a machine. So I probably wouldn't want to fight me either. So it is what it is. I'll be there, I know that. They say I'm just talk, but here I am walking. Where's everybody else? My experiences in Cage Wars and all the other promotions, not just all the promotions before that as well, it helped prepare me for certain situations that you'd find yourself in. But you're talking, even fighting in the UFC and then fighting on a McGregor show in the UFC is leaps and bounds different. You know what I'm saying? Absolutely. So everything has been a learning experience for me, and I take everything as a learning experience, and I look to grow from it.
Sure.
And you know what? That's why I keep growing.
You're enjoying great riches and success now, but can you put yourself in the mindset of the guy who's waiting in line with other people?
Always.
Do you remember what that guy was thinking?
Always.
Were you daydreaming of this? Was that even possible?
Every second of every day I was daydreaming. But of course I can go back and think there, you know, I live there in my, you know what I mean? I always be there, you know. I show up and work every single day like I'm not in the position I'm in, like I'm not me. So that's the mindset I have. It's work.
Obviously you were due to make history by fighting Rafael dos Anjos. That didn't happen, and now you fight Eddie. Is Eddie an easier route to history? I think that's something your coach, Kavanaugh, said.
I think they're very similar. I think they're all the same. They're all, you know, even looking at the contenders that fought last week, like they're not. I almost feel like upset that they're even being mentioned.
You talk about Tony Ferguson?
Everyone, all of them. They're all way down. Like I look at these fights and I realize why the game has never broke into that next level before, because nobody's at that next level. I'm the only one at that next level. So I look forward to going out and showing what I know, that these people do not stand a chance.
You're working in the plumbing business?
I was working in the plumbing business at the time, yeah, but I'm trying to think. It would have been around that time that John, see, I'd left the plumbing business. I left the plumbing business.
How bad was that?
The plumbing?
Yeah.
Horrendous.
Were you actually in the trenches?
I mean, it was an industrial. Ooh. So it'd be like building this. It'd be like the plumbing that would be needed in a place like this, 6 o'clock in the morning, and the motorway. And I used to have to walk for about an hour to get to the motorway, and then I'd stand on the edge of the motorway and wait for a bloke to drive by. So he'd give me a lift, and then the motorway was like getting renovation at the time, so it'd take me 2.5 hours to get to the place. It was out in the country. Then I'd be there for 10 hours walking, and I was a first year, so I was the worst of the worst. You know what I mean? I was only beginning. Then 2 hours to get back in the traffic again. It was just a horrible time, and I was like, you know what? I don't want to do this, and then I just left, and then I just stopped.
What's inside of there? A lot of groceries and stuff you buy, right? You got the milk, you got the, you know, your fruits and vegetables and stuff, and all that stuff, man, very perishable. What does that mean? I mean, when you buy it, you better eat that motherfucker, otherwise it goes bad. There's a shelf life to it, a time trial. Use it or lose it. And if you don't use it, then your investment in that product, you don't quite reap all the reward of that. So that's a little metaphor, I think, in life, because life itself is perishable. If you're playing basketball and you're shooting free throws, and you're at the line when the pressure's on you, if you don't constantly, when no one's watching, drill it, 1,000 buckets a day, when it matters, maybe you miss. If you're in the military, you're Delta Force or something. If you're not in the range, firing thousands of rounds, well, then when you pull on a fire, maybe you're not putting one in the head, one in the chest. Maybe you're missing it. And maybe in that split second, it costs you your life. All these things eventually will be tested. You have the time right now to prepare them, to ensure that skills don't get spoiled like some fruit and fresh and easy. See, the thing about life, we're gonna die, right? Eventually we're gonna die, but our legacy can live on. The impact can be non-perishable, forever, but it's gotta be built right. And we gotta take advantage of the time we have right now. If you want it bad enough, you find a way. If you don't want it bad enough, you find an excuse. Isn't it about the, you know, how big they are, how tough they are, their potential, it's their perseverance. Meaning it's not about the dog that's in the fight. It's the fight within the dog. Well, yeah, it's a shitty situation. I gotta go to work because I gotta pay the bills and support my family. But you know, it doesn't mean I have to shortcut my success in what I'm doing. I'll find a way to work this out. How do you do that? You gotta have a little ingenuity. I'll provide that for you guys. All you have to do is follow it. Just like life itself, man. You go after things, you try them. Even if you fail, you get back up and you continue to try and fail, continue to try and fail, and ensuring you never fail to try, because nothing's impossible. Just a spelling of impossible is spelled possible. Today we make believe of that. That's just not normal, guys. And what's not normal is what your body doesn't know. When your body doesn't know what it is, it's forced to adapt. That adaptation leads to growth. Only weak motherfuckers in life go after things and attempt things they already know they can achieve. You've got to do something you're not quite sure of. Try something new if you want to switch it up. That's where growth comes, man. That's where your body's forced to adapt, forced to suffer the discipline today, so you never suffer the form of regret tomorrow. That's what the fuck that's about. You know, there comes a day, man, everyone's gonna have this day. There comes a day where being average, being mediocre is just sickening to you. It's just sickening, it makes you want to throw up. Because you've seen people with far less talent than you. As you're growing up with them, their childhood buddies, whatever else, they didn't have what you had. Yet now they're fucking to become something that you haven't. There comes that day. It's either when you're young, you know, and it strikes you on the baseball field because you're sick of striking out, or it's when you get fired from your 5th job, you know, and your wife and kids are on your ass because you don't know how to support them anymore. There comes a fucking day where push comes to shove. Where being mediocre, being like average and shit just fucking burns. It sucks so much. You can't deal with it one more day. And you get off your fucking ass and you create something that's always been there. It's always been inside of you trying to come out. But you've never wanted to unwrap it because it's too much fucking pain and commitment. You were scared you were gonna fail. You were scared if you started, you never finish it. You didn't want to tell anyone about it. You knew it was there, but you never wanted to embark on it. Until something fucking hits. You get fired or somebody else gets success, remind you of what you could have been. And then the fucking spark is born.
Empty your mind. Be formless, shapeless, like water. Now you put water into a cup, it becomes the cup. You put water into a bottle, it becomes the bottle. You put it in a teapot, it becomes the teapot. Now water can flow or it can crash. Be water, my friend.
I didn't grow up with money. We weren't rich by any means, but I knew I wasn't going to college. I knew that wasn't a reality, and I didn't really want to go to college. One of the things that I was very lucky in my life with is I knew exactly what I wanted to do. From the time I was a young age, I knew I wanted to be in the fight business, and people thought I was crazy. I worked in Boston at a place called the Boston Harbor Hotel. I was a bellman in there. I was 19 years old. I made good money. You know, there's some guys that get those jobs, and those are the type of jobs they you know, they're lifers. They want those jobs forever. And it's a good job. It's not a bad job. It just wasn't for me. And I was literally standing in the lobby one day, and I'm like, what the hell am I doing here? What am I doing here? This isn't me. This isn't what I want. And I walked out the front door, and one of my good friends, he's still one of my good friends today, says, what are you doing? I said, I'm quitting. When you get out of bed every morning, right, you get up out of bed, life is standing right there to kick you in the face. Ready, leg cocked, ready to go to kick you in the face. Because every day when you get up, bad shit's coming at you. First of all, when you have a business idea, there's always going to be detractors and people that think, you know, it won't work. You're always going to have those people around you and in your life. Even when you're successful, believe me. It gets worse when you're successful. Anything you do positive in your life and anything that's huge, it will immediately be surrounded by negativity, right? Immediately, get ready for it, because no matter how successful you become, one thing never goes away: negativity. Their opinion means nothing. It is literally an opinion. It's negative bullshit, and it means nothing to you. It doesn't mean anything. It doesn't affect, unless you're the type, sick, twisted type of person like me that likes to let it fuel you. You let it, it's like your, you know, it's like your fuel, and other than that, it's useless. It means nothing. Do your thing. Stay on your course, stay focused, and keep your eye on the prize, and everything comes together. If you're looking for fuck you money, you're in the wrong place already. You already know you're not in the right place. I can't stand 3-day weekends. I hate 3-day weekends, man. I'm like, man, I want Monday to come again. That's how much I love what I do. If that's not your mentality every weekend when you're at home, like you're dreading Monday, man, stop. Stop and get another job, because you're in the wrong place. That's not healthy for you. And at the end of the day, it's really about that you love what you're doing, and it's about the journey. The people you're doing with it, that you're having fun, you're getting up every day, and you're all working toward the same goal, whatever it might be. It's a very fulfilling feeling. It really is a very fulfilling feeling because I've been where most people have been. I've been in the shitty job that you're just trying to pay your bills and you're trying to make ends meet and you're miserable. You're doing it because you have to do it because you have to pay your bills because you need money. Once you break out of that and you find what it is you truly love to do, it's really not work. It's actually fun and you enjoy every day of your life. From what I've learned and as I look back on my life, everything in life is about timing. Yes. It really is about timing. The right time, the right place, the right everything. And I also believe that you create your own timing in life too. What's the worst thing that can happen if you try? If the day that I walked out of that hotel, right, and I went to do this, it doesn't work out. I can go back and be a bellman again whenever I want to. You can always go back and do that. The worst part is not trying. Yeah. You have to try. Nobody's ever gonna do anything without trying. It's never the right time. It's never the right time. It's like, I can't now. I got this truck I just bought. I got payments on this friggin' thing. You know, I got this. If you do that to yourself, you'll never do anything. Forget the truck, forget this, forget that. Go for it. Just go for it. Believe me, I'm living proof that it can happen.
They're kind of dabbling in the idea of improving themselves. And the real way to do it is you got to write down what the fuck you want and then go after it. If you decide, I'm going to get down to bang, I'm going to do this, I'm going to run a marathon in less than 5 hours, I'm going to, you know, whatever the fuck it is, you got to write that shit down and go for it. Well, my workout I schedule every Sunday. I schedule everything that I'm going to do during the week. I say I have to do yoga 2 times this week, I have to lift weights 3 times this week, I have to run twice this week, and however I fit that in, I fit that in, but I owe those things. And you don't need 2.5 hours. You can get a great workout in 40 minutes, and that's all you need for the whole day, 100%. You know, this idea of time, like how much time did you put in today? Like, you could work out in a bullshit manner for 2 hours and not get nearly as much done as you can for a half hour hard just running. So I have to get those things in. The only exceptions are injuries and sickness. I do everything that I can to put my body and my brain in a good place so that I'm keeping my engine smooth. I'm changing my oil, I'm changing my spark plugs, I'm making sure that it's operating. I mean, it's not going to be perfect, but yeah, I know that I've done my best to keep it working the best that it can. There's consequences that you pay to constantly seeking comfort and avoiding discomfort and avoiding hard work. And those consequences are you're never going to feel self-realized, you're never going to feel like you accomplished anything, you're never going to have this feeling of understanding that difficulty and struggle and the ability to push through that is a muscle, and you develop that muscle by doing it. And once you do, you develop a lot of self-satisfaction and you develop peace of mind, and you understand that you can overcome obstacles. If you don't have to overcome obstacles, you never know whether or not you can. Unless you are faced with actual adversity, you don't understand how you're going to feel and how you're going to react when you overcome that adversity. Things that are difficult, when you do these difficult things, you're stressing your mind, or I should say, not even stressing your mind, exercising your mind and exercising your body's ability to manage intense situations. It's hard, it's very difficult, it's very testing. And in doing so, you lessen the stress of regular life. The more stressful situations that I experience, the more I understand what they are and the more I can relax. But it's also like a matter of constantly being exposed to these stressful situations where there's not a long break in between doing stand-up or a long break in between martial arts training where to the point where anxiety can build up, and then once you get into it, it's almost it's an unusual situation instead of a usual one. What I tell people is the best advice that I've ever heard, the best advice I ever came up with, is that live your life like you're the hero in your movie. And right now is when the fucking movie starts and your life is a shitbag disaster. Pretend you are, right now, you are in the part of the movie that starts and it shows you as a fucking loser. And just decide not to be a loser anymore. Live your life like there's a documentary crew following you around and you are analyzing your own behavior. Do what you would want to do so that your kids one day would look back at it and see that documentary and look on it with pride, like, wow, my dad was a bad motherfucker. He really did what he had to do. Wow, my mom really got her shit together. I love a success story, but even more than a success story, I like a dude who fucks his life up and then gets it back together again story. Those are my favorite stories. And the way to do that, you gotta write shit down. You gotta think that you are the hero in your own fucking movie, and then you gotta sit down and you gotta write shit down. Write down what you need to do. You have to be the hero of your own story, and you can do that. 90% of it is just showing up. Get there and start working. Like, you're not gonna feel perfect every day. Got to be those days you push through, and they're probably going to be more numerous than the days you don't. And so the benefit of discipline in my eyes has always been that through discipline I get things done. Write down everything you want to do. This is what I want you to do. Write down what you would like to fix about your life. And then just, if you're 30 pounds overweight, you want to lose 30 pounds, do it the right way. Go start eating vegetables, monitor your calories, write down what you eat, exercise every day, force yourself to do it. The brain is the general, the troops are the body, and you get up and you do it, and then you get to write it down. Our bodies, for whatever reason, most people, their associations are to avoid anything that's uncomfortable. It's so illogical, because when you look at comfort and you look at success and progress and the feelings of accomplishment and of getting past certain hurdles in terms of like how you feel about life, a lot of those are connected to discomfort. Like, discomfort is your friend. It really is. Like, discomfort and not being happy and content with certain situations in life or certain feelings in life. One of the big problems is sitting down and doing the work. And he labels it like an enemy. He calls it resistance, you know, and that you have to sit down and you have to overcome resistance, and that the pro goes to work. And it doesn't matter if you're sick, doesn't matter if you have kids, it doesn't matter what, you're a pro and you go to work. And that just, it puts it in your head that this is what I do. You have pride in that, and then when you are in front of that keyboard and you look down the count, it says put 1,000 words in. You're doing the work, and out of that work, gems blossom. And it's about resistance that people feel when you know you should write, or you know you should paint, or whatever you should sculpt, whatever these things are that you pursue, and that there's this thing that comes up that tries to keep you from doing that. This resistance. You're not a hero in your own eyes. You're not someone who you respect. You know, you're doing what you got to do to get by, but ultimately you're not respecting yourself. And I think we all have a certain amount of appreciation and respect for hero figures. You know, like, we all look at like the guy who never lies and always does the right thing and fucking helps everybody out, and that's the John Wayne character. You know, that's the ultimate hero. And he's like, this is a battle that you will fight for the rest of your life. But the key is to fight it, not to give in. Don't give in to that resistance, just to fight that resistance. And in doing so, every day you do so, you have won the battle for that day. And you will continue to fight that battle. And when you look at your own life and you don't stack up, you're a thief, you stole money from your wife's purse, and you know, you don't want to smoke cigarettes, but you fucking have to, you can't deal with the stress and smoke, you devalue yourself. You slowly start devaluing yourself. You look at yourself, you realize that if you were judging yourself, you would judge yourself unfavorably. So no matter who you can't pretend you're the hero of your story. You can be the hero of your own story that woke up today. You can be the hero of your own story that at 40 years of age stopped, got out of bed, and said, I'm not doing this anymore. Only by my instincts and only by my morals and my ideals and my mind, and I'm gonna be dead honest with myself because I'm realizing this is not gonna last forever. And I'm gonna get myself in shape and I'm gonna eat healthy. And I'm gonna do this because this is me now. I decide that this is me. And people have to realize that you are not your past. You are not all the times you fucked up. You're not all the times you were drunk. That's not you. What you are the person who's learned from a great deal of experience.
When you're alone with your thoughts, you get an idea of what your thoughts actually are. If you live your life just acting constantly on the momentum of other people's expectations, of you wanting to be liked by these other people, you can run into a trap and you set up a life that you didn't really want. Your life is certainly some sort of a journey. It's certainly some sort of a journey. You're trapped in this situation where you have a mortgage, you've got credit card bills, you've got student loans you have to pay, you have a bunch of shit going on that you have to continue to feed. And all that, and especially if you have a family and you have to feed them, oh my goodness. Then you're fully locked in, you can't take any chances whatsoever. And oftentimes people make the mistake of getting stuck. And it is just a tactical mistake, just like it would be a mistake if you got stuck on a video game. Just like it would be a mistake if you followed a map incorrectly and you got stuck in the woods. Your life is certainly some sort of a journey. It's certainly some sort of a journey. And we have to all be aware that when we're making journeys, we're not going to always make the right steps. And sometimes you have to back up and try again. And if you're in a position where you can't back up and try again, you've trapped yourself. Because people define themselves by the past. Instead of thinking about who they are now, instead of they still look back at a mistake they made and don't just get past that mistake, grow and learn, but dwell on it. Think it defines them. I mean, there's definitely pitfalls in life. You're gonna run into them. We all are. No, you can learn and grow if you survive. Somewhere along the line, they didn't face enough of the adversity to realize that there's sometimes you just gotta get up and get shit done. There's sometimes where you have to fucking pull yourself up and you have to push forward even if you want to stay in bed. Having that safety net just provided him with a way to stay in bed. Kept him weak. Have an opportunity. Every time things go wrong, every time things feel terrible, you have an opportunity to learn from whatever makes you feel terrible and never allow it to happen again. Push forward. The system will set out honeypots for people to get trapped in. The system will set out the ideas of retirement, the ideas of the golden years, providing you benefits, providing you a healthy work environment. Why? Well, because they want people to work for them. They don't want people to realize their own dreams and escape. They want to set it up so that you stick around in some sort of an unsatisfying world. It's up to you to see that video game problem, to see that issue as it comes up on the map. No, I think this is a right turn. To see all the problems that could potentially lay in front of you and calculate your future. And then also look around at all the people that didn't do it and look at the misery that they're in and learn that you don't want to be like them. What insight into their own mistakes are they willing to delve into that you're not, that you step back and you go, I just don't want to look at myself that closely. But the person who's able to look at themselves the closest is going to get the more rational results. There's a great feeling in these overcoming these difficult things, because life is never this just constant state of I'm at a 9 all day, and when I'm with my wife I hit 10, yay, and I stay like that. That's not real. It all comes from life lessons, and the lessons are learned through struggle. And I think that there's a lot of people out there that think somehow or another you're going to get to some place where you're living in silk sheets and you're getting your toes done while someone's dropping grapes into your mouth. I don't want that. I've never wanted that. That guy's not going to be happy. We have been fed this line of horseshit that you're supposed to seek comfort. And I don't think you are. I think you're supposed to seek lessons, and you're supposed to seek difficult tasks and accomplishments, and through those things and through doing things that are hard to do. Because if I just think, well, tomorrow I'm just gonna coast and eat Twinkies and watch TV. Oh, hello, sadness, my old friend. Hello, depression. And we can pretend that we're something other than what we really are, and we can pretend, nah, me, man, I'm just cool, just chilling, doing nothing. Little improvements, I think, are what life is all about. And I think also they're a tool to feed the mind. Because I really believe the mind needs these little lessons. The mind needs these little tasks. Stimulation and reward, lack of these peaks and valleys, and this bullshit idea that we're constantly fed that you should be comfortable. Those human reward systems are carved deeply into your DNA, and if you don't respect that, if you don't respect the mechanism of happiness and fulfillment and what you really need to do in order to feel satisfied in life, camaraderie, love, family, friendship, struggle, testing yourself, learning, all those things are imperative. They're all a giant part of being a person. Improvements over things. That's why doing difficult things is good.
Once the cup is empty, now it can be filled up again. What is it that might be the key that you learn to let go of something? And this letting go is of course going to be uncomfortable. Why? Because it is something that no one normally in our school systems, you don't find the subject how to let go. You find the subject how to get more. And so that means in that moment when people are getting confronted the first time with this type of teachings, it's uncomfortable. And so someone is always confronted between here, then he's brought down. Then he gets methods how he will build himself up again. Then he gets smashed down again. And so it continues. Every time when we as humans feel something is lacking, the answer is just consume more, which means just go out and look where are you going to find something that is going to fill up that gap, to fill up that hole that you are feeling. That is the approach that we have outside. But by observing this type of behavior, I think you can see that no matter how much you consume, no matter how much of these offerings you are taking, you never become full. It's always only a question of time until your new desire starts to arise. It always just fills that small gap, that small hole for a short moment. This feeling that suddenly something has hit really deep, has pecked the core. This is the essence of what we call the Zen teachings, the Chan teachings, where the Shaolin Temple belongs into. These are the teaching methods, meaning getting out of the comfort zone is part of the process. If I realize somebody already starts to feel like very confident again, yeah, very bright, then I know, okay, it's time to shut him down again. So someone is always confronted between here,
then he's brought down. Then he gets methods how he will build himself up again. Then he gets smashed down again. And so it continues. Last week you said I should do like this. So you told me to go in this direction. Today I'm asking you the same question, but you are telling me I should go in that direction. And I said, yes. 3 weeks after, Shifu, now you tell me 3 different things. This direction, that direction, and then once again, you're telling me in this direction. What type of teaching method is that? It is for you to figure out yourself after you have wandered between the different extremes that are existing. First, I push you in that direction, then you walk. Then I tell you other direction, then you walk there. Then maybe we change again, then you walk back there. Until you realize it's not here and it's not here. It's all of that. That's possible. Discovering what type of a person you are, what type of character you are. And just to reset yourself for whatever is going to come afterwards.